We got Apple pulling its 0-day updates. Apparently, this fucked up Safari. Apparently, the Apple 0-day patch fucked up Safari. Cool, let's find out why. I'm curious. WebKit? Something to do with WebKit? Probably, right? It's always WebKit. It's tasty. Yummy. Thank you, app. What the fuck, Sophos? Get out of here, dog. What are you doing? Okay, here we go. iMessage. Oh.
Apple silently pulls its latest 0-day update. What now? By Paul Ducklin. Betteridge's law of headlines insists that any headline posed as a question can instantly be answered with a simple no. Apparently, the theory behind this witticism, it's not actually a law, nor yet a rule, nor even in fact anything more than a suggestion, is that if the author knew what they were talking about, and had real evidence to support their case, they'd have written the headline as an undiluted fact. Well, we're not journalists here on Naked Security, so fortunately we're not bound by this law. The ruthless answer to our own question in the headline above is, no one knows except Apple, and Apple isn't saying. A better but admittedly middle-of-the-road answer is, wait and see. Rapid responses. This story started late yesterday, at the tail end of 2023-06-10 UK time, when we excitedly, do you mean excitably? Ed. Wrote an advisory about Apple's second ever rapid security response, RSR. These RSRs are, as we explained previously, Apple's effort to deliver single-issue emergency fixes as promptly as well-managed open-source projects generally do, where 0-day patches often come out within a day or two of a problem being found, with updates to the updates following promptly if further investigations reveal further issues needing to be fixed. One reason open-source projects can take this sort of approach is that they usually provide a download page with the full source code of every officially released version ever, so that if you rush to adopt the latest fixes in hours, rather than in days or weeks, and they don't work out, there's no barrier to rolling back to the previous version until the fix for the fix is ready. Apple's official upgrade pathway, however, at least for its mobile devices, has always been to supply full, system-level patches that can never be rolled back.
True.
Because Apple doesn't like the idea of users deliberately downgrading their own systems in order to exploit old bugs for the purpose of jailbreaking their own devices or installing alternative operating systems. As a result, even when Apple produced emergency 1 bug or 2 bug fixes for 0-day holes that were already being actively exploited, the company needed to come up with, and you needed to put your faith in, what was essentially a one-way upgrade. Even though all you really needed was a minimalistic update to one component of the system to patch a clear and present danger. Enter the RSR process, allowing rapid patches that you can install in a hurry, that don't require you to take your phone offline for 15 to 45 minutes of repeated reboots, and that you can later remove and reinstall, and remove, and so on, if you decide that the cure was worse than the disease. Bugs patched temporarily via an RSR will be patched permanently in the next full version upgrade, so that RSRs don't need or get a whole new version number of their own. Instead, they get a sequence letter appended, so that the first rapid security response for iOS 16.5.1, which came out yesterday, is displayed in settings greater than general greater than about is 16.5.1a. We don't know what happens if the sequence ever goes past Z, but we'd be willing to take a small wager on the answer being AA, or perhaps Z, if alphabetic sortability is considered important. Here today, gone tomorrow. Anyway, just a few short hours after advising everyone to get iOS and Apados 16.5.1a, because it fixes a zero-day exploit in Apple's WebKit code and could therefore almost certainly be abused for malware
It's always
nastiness
WebKit.
such as implanting
It's always
spyware
WebKit, like
or
I said
grabbing
before we
private
even
data
started. It's
from your
always
phone.
WebKit.
Commenters, special thanks to John Michael Leslie, who posted on our Facebook
Always
page,
WebKit.
started reporting that the update was no longer showing up when they used settings greater than general greater than software update to try to update their devices. Apple's own security portal still lists 2023-07-11T15-0000Z, the most recent updates as macOS 13.4.1a and iOS Apados 16.5.1a, dated 2023-07-10, with no notes about, but reports via the MacRumors site suggest that the updates have been withdrawn for the time being. One suggested reason is that Apple's Safari browser now identifies itself in web requests with a user agent string that includes the appendage A in its very own number. Here's what we saw when we pointed our updated Safari browser on iOS at a listener.
Oh, this is broke. This is the part that broke Safari. Wait a sec. Okay. So thank you. So Safari browser update on iOS at a listening TCP socket format in the line. Okay, so they have a listener here, or the connection request here. Okay, user agent, here it is. Oh, bro, yeah. So this somehow broke it. Always WebKit should be a meme. Yeah, there's like a meme about like always DNS. You know, it's always DNS. It can't be DNS. Like the haiku, it can't be DNS. It's not DNS. Oh, it was DNS. You know what I mean? So yeah, you should make that shit. That shit would be fucking hilarious. Dude, if you make that shit, that would be hilarious. I'll tweet it out. KHTML like gecko, right? And then here's the version.
According to some MacRumors commentators, that version string, consisting as it does of the usual numbers and dots along with some weird and unexpected text in round brackets, is confusing some websites.
This is great. This is so good.
Ironically, the sites we've seen blamed in this apparently version string espousing blame game all seem to be services that are much more commonly accessed by dedicated apps than via a browser. But the theory seems to be that they apparently choke on that 16.5.2a version identifier if you decide to visit them with an updated version of Safari.
I love this.
What to do? Strictly speaking, only Apple knows what's going on here, and it's not saying. At least, not officially via its security portal HT201222 or its About Rapid Security Responses page HT201224. We suggest, if you already have the update, that you don't remove it unless it genuinely interferes with your ability to use your phone with the websites or apps you need for work, or unless your own department explicitly tells you to roll back to the non-A flavor of macOS, iOS or Apados. After all, this update was deemed suitable for a rapid response because the exploit it fixes isn't in the wild. Browser-based remote code execution (RCE) hole. If you do need or wish to remove the RSR, you can do this. If you have an iPhone or iPad, go to settings.
Remove security response. Don't care. I do not care. I do not care about the remediation. If you want the remediation, read the article after I tweet it.
Note that we installed the RSR right away on macOS Ventura 1.3.4.1.
They haven't had any problems visiting their usual website haunts on Safari or Edge. Don't care. Remember that all browsers use WebKit on Apple mobile devices. Yes. Therefore, we don't intend to remove the update. We're not willing to do so experimentally. We have no idea whether we'll be able to reinstall it again afterwards. I mean, okay, whatever. The patch simply doesn't get reported when they try for an unpatched device. Yeah, Dwarf Romantic, yeah, we should check that out. But we haven't tried repatching a previously patched version to see if it gives you a magic ticket to fetch the update again. Simply put, if you've already got it, keep the update unless you have to get rid of it. If you've installed it or really need or want to remove it, see the instructions. If you haven't got it yet, watch this space. We're guessing A will rapidly be replaced by B because of the whole idea of these lettered updates is that they're meant to be rapid responses, but only Apple knows for sure. Okay. Okay, thank you for liking the skeet that I squote. All right, here we go. And so it was squitting. Okay. It appears that Apple's new Apple's first it appears that Apple's new rapid security response update, let's say iOS 16.5.1a, has broken some web browsing. For real, I'm do be tweeting and skeeting at the same time. Has broken some web browsing experiences for users. It looks like this update has been yoinked. We'll say yoinked from the catalog for the time being. Some folks believe it is the user agent string change, but we cannot be certain. Blue Skeet Squote. The tweet has been... Oh, here, let's see. Come on, bro. Why no delete? I'm hitting backspace, doggy. There we go. Elon broke Twitter. Broke this perfectly terrible website. Apple's new rapid service response update broke web browsing experiences for users. There you go. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the likers.